everyone. My name is Karen Connolly. I am with the Scituate Select Board, and today is Monday, June 7th. I'm here with Jim Boudreau, our town administrator, and Bill Burkhead, our superintendent of schools. We are here to provide you with the weekly update. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the class of 2021. The graduation went off on Friday evening. I know there was a bit of a delay because of the weather, but it all turned out well. And congratulations to that intrepid class for everything they've gone through this year and last year. We wish them all well. I would also like to acknowledge we haven't been here since Memorial Day, that thanks to the Veterans Advisory Council, there was a very moving tribute for all of those who have died serving our country in wars. And especially in memory of those still missing in action, the chair of honor was dedicated at the high school football field. It was a very moving ceremony, and I know that everyone appreciated the solemnness of the occasion. I know it was recorded, and you can probably see it on Scituate Community TV, and I hope everyone gets a chance to look at it. Jim, the Well 19 pump has been fixed and is back online. That's good news. And for those of you who are not out and about, there's a black bear in town. Jim?
You know, I thought we were finally going to have a weekend where the wells were all fixed, there was no COVID, and then I got a call there's a bear in town. So
of course,
it's always something. So there is a black bear in town. It was this morning. It was around Greenfield and Meeting House by the cemetery. It has since moved up towards Torrey's Lane, so it is still moving. Kind of heading up towards the golf course area. The Scituate Police and the Environmental Police are monitoring the progress of the bear, keeping an eye on it. So far, it has not been aggressive. It was seen this morning down in the neighborhood of Peggotty Beach. But as Karen and I were discussing earlier, the beach stickers are sold out and Maria's was out of bread. So it seems to be moving back towards Norwell and that area. But we'll monitor that. We'll keep an eye on it. The police will continue to post updates as to where the bear is. But if you see it, stay away from it. If it's in your yard, you can make loud noises that will chase it away and take away the nuisances that would attract the bear, bird feeders, loose trash, clean your grill, and I think most importantly, keep your pets on a leash, at least for the time being, while we see where this bear is going. It will leave if you bother it for the most part, so if you get loud, it will leave. But the police are keeping an eye on it, and you'll see them around town as the bear moves around. If you need more information, go to the Scituate Police Department website, and there's links there to the state website for what to do with black bears. As Karen said, Well 19 was put back online. We got it all fixed on Friday. We ran it overnight to make sure everything was running correctly. We brought it back online on Saturday. So we are returning to our normal watering restrictions on 1 day a week based upon your precinct after 5 p.m., before 9 a.m. We have seen usage go up. We talked about before Memorial Day on that Wednesday, the 28th. We went 2.7 million gallons of water through the treatment plant. When we put the water ban on Memorial Day weekend, it dropped down to about 1.6. And then last week, it was in the 1.3 million gallon range. Friday, it was back up to 1.4, which is not bad. We announced lifting the water ban Saturday around noontime, 1 o'clock. Saturday's usage was up over 1.8 million gallons, and we are still calculating Sunday's final usage, but Sunday was over 2 million gallons of water that the town of Scituate produced and used. I mean, that just tells us that all that extra water being used is outside water usage. It's going on lawns, it's washing cars, it's washing boats. That is the water usage that we need to curtail. That is the water usage that we need to drive down in order to make sure that we have sufficient water for people, pets, and firefighting protection. So I know a lot of people talk about, oh, it's all this growth going on. It's just the amount of water that we use on a daily basis. If you're putting it on your lawns, that's going to drive water usage up. So we ask you to please continue to conserve during the heat wave that's coming up, and save that water for when we need it for people, pets, and for fire protection, because that's a lot of water, and it's very hard for us to meet that demand when it gets up around 2.5, 2.6 million gallons, just from a physical standpoint of being able to produce water. Not even talking capacity standpoint, but our physical ability to produce clean water taps out at about 2.5, 2.6 million gallons a day. So please continue to conserve. We do have water right now. The reservoir is 3 inches and spilling over, but we do have water restrictions on. We will be enforcing those, and the water department will be out making sure people are adhering to those water restrictions. To get to COVID, as most people know, we are free of most COVID restrictions at this point. If you are a fully vaccinated individual, you are no longer required to wear a mask. If you are not fully vaccinated, it is recommended that you wear a mask. If you are on public transportation, if you're at the airport, if you take ride sharing, you must continue to wear a mask in those settings. And individual businesses may still require you to wear masks. So be prepared when you go shopping, that someplace you go shopping may require you to wear a mask. But for the most part, the restrictions are done. The governor is lifting the state of emergency on June 15th. It is on the Board of Selectmen's agenda tomorrow night to release the local state of emergency. How will this impact us? The biggest impact could be that we will have to return to in-person meetings as opposed to virtual meetings. That permission to have virtual meetings expires on June 15th. The governor has filed legislation to allow those to continue, but it may be that tomorrow night's Selectmen's meeting will be the last fully virtual meeting we have before we have to come back and meet in person. All residents of the Commonwealth 12 and over are eligible for vaccinations at this point. A reminder, between 12 and 17, you must get the Pfizer vaccine. The other vaccines are not approved. And the Marshfield Fairgrounds is now available for vaccinations without an appointment. You can go there, get in line. It's very efficient. They do a great job. Since our last update 2 weeks ago, we've had 5 cases in town, 1 last week, 4 the previous week. We are still in the gray. The previous 14 days, positivity rate was 0.53%, and the state's positivity rating for the last 7 days was the exact same, 0.53%. So numbers are good. They're in the right direction. Get out and get vaccinated if you can. It makes things a lot easier and helps prevent the spread of the variants as we go forward. Peggy Beach parking lot. If you go down there, you'll see that the base coat is down, and we've done some striping, temporary striping to help people park down there. We had scheduled final paving for this week. However, given the weather conditions, we don't want to close the parking lot, so we have put off that paving so people can still get down there and park. We will monitor the weather now over the next several weeks, and if we get too far into the beach season, we'll just put that paving off until the fall. We are going to try to get it done, but right now, we will not pave it this week with temperature in the 90s because we'd have to close that parking lot for at least a half a day, if not a full day. And we don't want to do that with temperatures in the 90s. So just keep an eye on it. You may see the signs up within the next couple of weeks saying we're paving on a certain day, but otherwise we're going to keep it open for the summer so people can enjoy that beach. Cole Parkway Marina is done with the exception of the overlook. We're just waiting for new railings to come in. Cedar Point project is finished with the exception of the final paving. That will not be done until the fall. We'll let those trenches settle and then do the final paving. So thank you to all the residents out there and the residents who go to Cedar Point for their cooperation. That project came out very well. We're in the process now of calculating exactly how much flow savings we have, but we think it's substantially more than the 40,000 gallons a day that we predicted when we started. So that project has been a fantastic project. The contractor did a great job and the residents were very cooperative. So we'll keep an eye on it. If there's really bad potholes, we'll repair them. But in the meantime, we're going to leave that sit until the fall, and then we'll come out and do final paving. And then finally, we do have the heat wave today and tomorrow. The Council on Aging will be open till 8 o'clock tonight for people who may not have air conditioning. You can go and sit and relax and get into that building. The air conditioner works very well. The town hall will be available if we fix the air conditioning. The air conditioning right now is not working in the building. We're off this morning. But the Council on Aging will be available, and then we'll reevaluate for tomorrow whether we have to open another cooling station or not, depending upon the traffic we get at the COA. So that's what I have for today.
Thanks, Jim. Now to Mr. Burkhead.
Thank you, Select Board Member Conley. I appreciate it. And thank you, Mr. Boudreau. Just to follow up on Mr. Boudreau's opening regarding the bear, we did send out a correspondence to all our families this morning, just identifying that we are in direct communication with the Scituate Police. So we're in real time. So I appreciate their cooperation and Mr. Boudreau's assistance on that. So they are keeping us in the loop. We have notified our families. Our principals are very well aware of it. So if any updated information comes up that's pertinent to the schools, we will be sending that home to families as well. As far as the heat, We know it's going to be a hot one the next couple of days. We have been in preparation and in communication with our principals and teachers on getting out into our tents, getting into shaded areas, making those available, hydration. So we'll be very well aware of that and keeping an eye on the kids. We understand the masks are a hindrance with the heat, unfortunately. So we'll make sure that we are aware of that and take care of that. So just wanted families to know that we are aware of the heat and monitoring that, and our principals and staff are fully aware of the situation, and we'll be doing everything in their power to keep the kids and the adults comfortable in school today and tomorrow. As far as COVID goes, some really good news. We had our first 0 cases over the last week, and since I can remember. So we had no school cases for last week, and our current total to date is 228. So that's really good news for us. Just a lot of real good things happening last week that I just want to share, especially at the high school. I was honored to be invited to speak and witness the display of excellence on Wednesday morning for our National Honor Society, who combined with our Math and World Language Honor Societies to hold a joint induction ceremony. The advisors and administration did an incredible job. It was amazing. So proud to be part of this community and the wonderful things they're doing for kids. And just a shout out to those students for, attaining acceptance into those prestigious clubs. So that's something and there was a lot of them. So congratulations to those students. Also last week, a tradition that started last year during COVID and it's continued is the second annual senior send-off campus car parade that went around the school and had all the staff members and aligned outside the school, and the kids and parents decorated the cars and drove around in campus. And we were offered to give them a fun and responsible send-off. So that was a lot of fun leading up to graduation, which was Friday evening. I want to thank everybody for their flexibility and us moving it off an hour. It looked like that was the right call to make, as the just in time for 7 p.m. The rain cleared, rainbows were out, the sun was out, and we had 250 members of our senior class proudly accept their diplomas, with about 1,500 family and friends in attendance, who were very excited and loud, and we had some fun. So it was a great evening. Hats off to our wonderful and resilient class of 2021. You did it, and we're also very proud of you. Next, I'd like to thank our school resource officer, Sarah Arsenault. Friday was Miss Arsenault's last day with the schools after 5 years in that role. On behalf of the many staff, students, families, and administration, I'd like to thank Miss Arsenault for her dedication and commitment to our school community, and welcome our new SRO and Scituate alum, Nick Sherry. So we'll be welcoming Nick to our family, and we want to thank Sarah for all her dedication to our team. School committee meeting tonight, a few highlights. We'll start off with our celebration of student learning. Our math and science department will be presenting tonight. We'll have our high school student reports, so that should be interesting as always. Something that hasn't been done in the last few years that we want folks to know is our elementary principals will be presenting their school improvement plans, which will highlight the goals and our action steps and work and accomplishments towards those goals for this year. So that's important, and that'll be also publicly available on the websites afterwards. So we'll have that out to families. And at our June 21st meeting, the secondary schools, Gates and high school, will also present their school improvement plans. And also tonight, capital improvement updates will be a highlight, sharing with the community what we're currently doing with our capital improvements for the summer and into the fall, which is good news as well. Finally, just a couple of sailor shout outs. I want to give our nurse leader, Kelly Roach, a shout out, who she was recently appointed to the town Scituate's Board of Health. She brings a lot of knowledge and perspective to the board, so congratulations to Kelly on that. And finally, a shout out to Mr. Brennan Smith and his 4th grade students at Cushing School. I was invited to attend the Dress as Your Favorite Book character last week, and was just blown away by the costumes, the presentations by the students, and the high level of commitment that went into them preparing for this presentation. So thank you all to Mr. Smith and the kids of 4th grade at Cushing. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Speaking of upcoming meetings, the Select Board has a meeting tomorrow night at 6:30 via Zoom. You can go on to the town website on the calendar and click on it for the agenda, which will take you to Zoom, to our meeting. Included on our agenda, a hot topic usually, water, sewer, and transfer station rates upcoming for the upcoming year. So if you have an interest in that, that's usually something that people are like to know about. Also upcoming, there are 2 Scituate Pride events, both on June 18th. The first one is a walk from the Gate School to the Lawson Common. That starts at 11, and it starts at the Gate School. And then later that evening at 7:30, there will be a movie night at the Gate School parking lot. And that is also sponsored by Scituate Pride. You can go to scituatepride.com for more information, but I will say the movie night, I believe you need tickets, and they'll probably go quickly. So that's something to look forward to. And speaking of looking forward to things, both the Knights of Columbus Carnival and Heritage Days will be back this year. I know everyone missed them both sorely last summer. So thanks to both of those organizations for getting off on a quick dime, because the governor lifted the restrictions a lot sooner than most of us thought. So thank you to those organizations for getting themselves together and providing people with the fun in Scituate that everyone looks forward to. And I guess all we have to say now is summer is here. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.